It's almost or left in the day to come to you with the Pro Life Gen news today for Thursday, June 8th. So we're calling it Pro Life from the PJs. I've sort of started doing these lives at night anyway, because usually when I'm with my kids and home, this is the only time it's sort of quiet throughout the whole day to be live. And now that I've been on the road for the past couple of days and at events, this is the only time. So Pro Life from your PJs, here you go. We're going to go through some of the daily news clips today. I can't get through all of it because, like I said, I only have an hour left before it's tomorrow, and then I have news to give you tomorrow. So I'm just going to give you an abbreviated version here of some of the biggest things. I'm going to start off first with the biggest story, which is the fact that earlier this week I came to you talking about how at the CNN town hall with Nikki Haley, Jake Tapper said that President Biden's abortion position was that he supported Roe, which allows abortion only to 20 weeks, which I went into great detail already explaining to you how that is not true. Roe and Doe, the companion cases, allow abortion up until the moment of birth. And then when the White House was asked about what Jake Tapper said about Joe Biden's abortion position, because I'm pretty sure Planned Parenthood is probably pretty damn pissed off with that because they want to be for abortion all 9 months, which he is. The White House wouldn't say. They said, well, if you know Roe, then you know the particulars, so then you know what his position is. Like, what the heck is that? So that happened. And so to be charitable, one could, try not to like assume too much, think, well, maybe Jake Tapper, he's a pretty smart person who covers abortion a lot. Maybe he's just an idiot on this. Maybe he's just wrong. But then, last night on the CNN town hall with Mike Pence, Dana Bash repeated the same lie. She said 22 weeks. I'm going to show you this clip because once it might be a mistake, but twice in the same damn week, I think there's a conspiracy afoot.
The person you're running against or you want to run against if you get the nomination is President Biden. He says that codifying Roe versus Wade is his position. That means a right to an abortion until the point of viability, not up until birth. Person you're running.
That is absolutely wrong. That's wrong. Because just this week, what Dana Bash didn't talk about and what's not being covered in the media, because Democrats are so ideologically driven by abortion, this isn't even a good political decision for them. Just this week, Democrats in the House of Representatives have filed what's called a discharge petition on the Women's Health Protection Act. They used to call it the Women's Health Empowerment Act, or we call it Endangerment Act. Now they call it the Women's Health Protection Act. What does the Women's Health Protection Act do? Why does it relate to this situation, Kristen? Very simple. The Women's Health Protection Act says it's codifying Roe by making abortion legal federally throughout all 9 months of pregnancy for whatever reason and taxpayer funded. Okay, that's what their definition of codifying Roe is, because they're saying Roe and Doe. They're actually taking the correct view on that Roe and Doe allow abortion up until all 9 months. They actually admitted it in this legislation. So they call for a discharge petition. Why they call a discharge petition? This is what you do when you're in the minority if you really want to vote on something, because in the House of Representatives, to get a vote, the Speaker controls the calendar. So Speaker McCarthy's not going to allow a vote on the bill about this. It's terrible. So if you get a discharge petition of 218 House of Representatives members who sign it, then it bypasses the Speaker's will. They're not going to get 218, but they're doing it because they're trying to show their pro-abortion base that they're doing something, because they need Planned Parenthood dollars for their campaigns in 2024. So then one can Google, right? It's not terribly difficult. You Google this, and what you can find is President Biden released a statement last year when they brought this bill up for a vote twice, and the Democrats actually passed it twice in the House of Representatives. The only reason it didn't go anywhere was because they don't have 60 votes in the Senate for it, right? But the House voted on this bill twice and passed it twice last year. There's actually statements out there on the internet, on the interwebs, President Biden's remarks on the Women's Health Protection Act calling for its passage. So what is President Biden's position on abortion? Dana Bash and Jake Tapper and CNN? It's abortion all 9 months. And that's the definition that the left is using of codifying Roe versus Wade. So why did 2 reporters at CNN mislead us this week? Was it purely that they don't know what Roe versus Wade really was? somewhat doubt that. Jake Tapper and Dave Ash are smart people. What was going on? I think I think there was a memo sent from probably the DNC or the Biden White House that basically told CNN, this is what you say, to purposely confuse the American people and the American voter of what Joe Biden's position is. And then because when they were asked, when KJP, the White House spokesperson, was asked, she did the same thing. Well, if you know the particulars of Roe versus Wade, you know what the president supports because he supports Roe versus Wade. Well, Roe versus Wade said the first 3 months. Roe versus Wade and B. Bolton, the companion case, the same day, all 9 months. Which one is it? Because I think if they would say they only support abortion the first 3 months, Planned Parenthood would probably murder Joe Biden. So anyway, we need to call CNN on this, and we need to call this out, because what we're seeing, and why does this matter? Why is Kristen so upset? Is because this is what they're setting up for 2024, to confuse American people about the extremist positions that Joe Biden has taken on abortion in order to shore up his base and to shore up his political dollars from Planned Parenthood. But he knows, and any pollster out there in America will tell you, is a hugely unfavorable position to hold. That's why this is happening. So I'm glad I can explain to you this crazy. All right, another story. So there's a story going on. So we've been talking, obviously, Students for Life America, this is chemicalabortion.com, about how chemical abortion pills, because there's 3 active metabolites in chemical abortion pills that aren't found in anywhere else in nature. This doesn't take place in natural miscarriage, not found in birth control. But when a woman takes chemical abortion pills, she goes to the bathroom, she passes chemically tainted blood, placental tissue, and the fetus, the human baby, down the toilet, because she's told to sit on the toilet or get in the bathtub, not to look and flush. When that child, when the placental tissue, when anything that has passed through her body goes into the waterways, there are 3 active metabolites that remain active. So we've been logically raising the question of, what does this do to our endangered species? What's it do to the Clean Water Act? Because there's overseas studies saying, hey, mifepristone is actually in the water, and this can be harming reproduction rates in animals and fish. And there's this whole growing body of academic research out there trying to figure out why, like, cows and livestock aren't getting pregnant as many children, why they're having higher stillbirths. And the answer, like the we don't know other category, keeps going up because of this. So we've been raising questions saying, why isn't the FDA investigating this? And we've learned in our research that the FDA, according to the Clean Water Act and the Endangered Species Act, was legally bound to actually investigate this, and they haven't. And for 5 times that they've approved and then renewed chemical abortion pills, they failed to do it. So we've been filing a citizens petition. I've been ringing the bell everywhere. So we did a video with our friend Isabel Brown, who's a contributor with Students for Life. Then the Abortion Access Front, AAF, Abortion AF is what they call themselves. They're older comedians who are totally pro-abortion. They did this spoof video about abortion water. So this woman's drinking out of a hose, and she's like, oh, the condom broke last night, I'm drinking my abortion water. And this other lady's at a store I like my abortion water sparkling, and they try to make funny about how they're ordering abortion water. And then then they're like, just kidding, there's no abortions in the water. We're not claiming that the water is going to make you have an abortion, but what we are saying is there's a growing body of scientific evidence out there from across the world. This is a problem. So yeah, the video went viral. They have a pretty small TikTok account, because these guys, even though their positions in line with the Democratic Party and Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi, they're considered the fringe of the abortion movement because they're just so vile and grotesque. But it was pretty interesting. They're pretty creative ladies, if I don't say so myself, when it comes to the video. But sadly, they're using their gift of humor for sick and grotesque things that advocate for genocide. All right, next thing, Lifesite News had an article about how the U.S. Bishops Conference is calling for Catholics to celebrate Dobbs Day and renew efforts to protect the unborn, because Saturday, June 24th, is going to be the 1-year anniversary of the Dobbs decision, which threw Roe versus Wade into the ash heap of history. Yay, 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 yay. Everyone's now starting to figure out, what are we doing? Hello, people. This is why we have the National Celebrate Life Day. We launched it this spring. We announced it. We will be on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial on Saturday, June 24th. Dr. Alveda King, Lila Rose, Sean Carney, myself, Michael Knowles, other pro-life leaders. We're trying to get as many pro-life leaders there to stand in unity. We are going to be celebrating the heroes of the pro-life movement, those who have since passed, who were active before many of us were even thought of, conceived, or born, to act with courage to save human life. So we're really excited for this day. We're also going to be using this day to talk about what we do next. Yes, we need to fight in our states to make abortion unavailable in our states. We need to work in our communities to make abortion unthinkable on our campuses to change minds. But federally, what should we be doing? We should be demanding that Congress use the provision in the 14th Amendment, that Congress acknowledge that the equal rights, equal justice clause in the 14th Amendment also applies to preborn persons, not just born persons, which actually, if you go back to the history and who wrote the 14th Amendment back in the 1860s, the writers and the original intent was not to ever exclude unborn, preborn children. They considered preborn children persons back in the day, as did everybody until like 50 years ago when the abortion lobby tried to change everything. So make sure you go to nationalcelebratelifeday.com and register. The rally is free, but you need to have a lanyard because there's gonna, we have security and stuff. So you need to register, get your lanyard, get your direction. So go to nationalcelebratelifeday.com to register for the free rally. You can stick around the night. We're gonna have a celebration gala with all these different pro-life leaders offering toasts to their mentors, people they looked up to. It's not a fundraising event. Yes, we have to charge for tickets, but Students for Life is losing money on this deal. This is not a fundraising event. It is simply to gather the pro-life movement to celebrate the accomplishment, this historic thing that happened that everyone told us in the pro-life movement, outside the pro-life movement, that was impossible, that we should stop even trying to reverse Roe versus Wade. Well, guess what, guys? We did it. So now it's time to have a little party, celebrate with the pro-life generation, pro-life leaders, pro-life organizations across the country, and renew our spirit for the coming battle. It took Joshua 7 years for the Israelites campaign to see that promised land reached, and to see Israel formed. We're already in year one. Year one's almost done. We got 6 more years, guys. So we have some more work to do. But I'll leave you with that. Good evening. I will come back to you tomorrow night with Pro Life My PJs, and give you some Pro Life Gen news from the day. And wish me luck. I have 6 hours of driving tomorrow because Canada keeps sending all their smoke down here. So pray for everybody in Canada who is facing wildfires, and tell the Canadian government they can reimburse on my flight delays. Bye, everyone.